stream. We're here today to shine the light on this industry. This industry survives on secrecy. We're here today to force the transparency. We're here not to cause alarm, harassment, distress, any form of intimidation. We're here today to reveal the truth. We're having our right to assembly on public property and our freedom of speech. As you come into this live stream, we also want you to know that we are not here today to clash with non-vegans. We're here to come alongside you and to let you know the secrets that the industry don't want you to know. And by them secrets, it keeps good people paying for some of the most horrific violence without ever even critically thinking about it, let alone questioning it. As you come in this live stream, please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations, subscribe and 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Let us know your position. Number 2s, non-vegans who have kind, compassionate hearts, we welcome you in, and we're here today to have a conversation. We're not here to point fingers and say we're better than you. We're here to come alongside you and show you that truth. We're also here today in collaboration with Animal Aid, and you can go and look at the investigation done at the very facility that we're stood outside the front of today. If you go on the top 3 dots in the top right-hand corner, click on the description of this live stream and click on that top link. It's Animal Aid's investigation link. You can also go to animalaid.org.uk and look at their campaigns and investigations from there. But you'll be absolutely shocked to know what happens in the very building behind me right now. They shoot horses in this facility, ex-race horses or horses that are discarded from the industries that they were born into to be exploited. Let us know where you are. Any questions or anyone in the chat right now?
God, what's happening? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, the cries of the animals, the cries. Yeah, that was shouting at them. Did you hear that?
Wow. Wow, they are shouting. They're moving the animals.
That was sheer panic.
Okay, the sound that you just heard, that was an animal being moved from the layerage to go onto the kill floor. There's a truck coming here as well. Maybe it could be a truck behind us. Stand by. Cows bellowing and crying. What was you doing to them cows? I heard you shouting at them, and I heard them bellowing mercy. Will you show them mercy? Of course you won't. This is a slaughterhouse. Absolutely horrific. They were screaming and shouting at the cows, and I went closer, and I could hear one cow cries of mercy. If you go to a sanctuary and you go see cows in places of refuge where they're rescued from these industries, they don't make that noise. That was a noise of someone who doesn't want to die. Yeah, they don't like where they are.
Alex and Callum, could you hear the sounds? Could you hear the
oh
cries?
my, that was blood curdling. She did not want to move, or he did not want to move. And as I got closer to inspect, why are them cows bellowing in there? What are you doing to them? I can hear them screaming and shouting. Don't just be silent. Why? Why are they shouting at the animals? Why are the animals bellowing? Don't wave at me, you sadistic person, waving at me like everything's okay while you're in there executing innocent animals. Are you not? Is this industry mental?
Yeah.
These animals are like childlike beings. They're so vulnerable. They're so scared. And these people here, they leave their morals at the door when they go into these facilities, and then they take these animals and they exploit them. They murder them. They kill them. They stab them to death. They shoot them in the face, and they slash their throats open. And the mercy that we heard from inside that layerage was an individual who was going to be taken through to be killed. Now, to me, it sounded like a cow. I don't know if the cow was born into the dairy industry or the beef industry, but it sounded like a cow.
Callum said you could hear them crying really clearly.
You could hear them on there. It was so loud. Now, that bellow is a bellow of mercy. Now, we're here asking you today, if you're a number 2, which is someone who's not vegan, but you're open-minded to the conversation and you're here listening to us, we're here today to appeal to your heart and to your empathy and to your compassion, and we're going to ask you to go vegan, because the whole time you're not vegan, the bellows are because you forced them inside there.
They would be so afraid. Vegan Rebel, but imagine forcibly breeding animals into existence and taking their lives for a sandwich. Does your taste pleasure justify cruelty?
Let me explain. Absolutely amazing point. Let me explain all them points. As I'm explaining, subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded. And thank you for being in here. Please put your questions in the chat. Subscribe and put 3 if you are anti-vegan. Please double tap the live stream. We're here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. The facility behind us was investigated. Click on the top 3 dots in the top right-hand corner. Go to the channel description. Copy and paste that that link into your browser if it's not clickable and see the investigation that took place in the facility behind us here. It will leave you shocked and appalled and questioning the whole industry. And like Vegan Rebel said, these animals are forced into existence. Their bodily autonomy is taken from them, their babies are taken from them, and they are commodified as profit machines. That's all it is.
Who do they kill here?
This facility here kills lambs, sheep, cows, baby cows, and horses, to my knowledge. There could be other species that come here, but to my knowledge, these are the species that are killed here. And if you look at Animal Aid's investigation, this very facility behind me was exposed for shooting ex-racehorses and putting them into the meat trade. That's exactly what they did here. Subscribe and put 1 if you're vegan. Subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded. Thank you for being here. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Please go and look at Animal Aid's investigations in the description. My head is on a swivel because I don't trust this place one bit.
No, definitely. Car Guy put, your clothes aren't vegan.
Yes, they are. All of our clothes are vegan. They're synthetic materials or natural materials. Why would I wear clothes items that scream for their life on a kill floor when I can choose a different option? Yeah. This is the message, right? You could choose a different option. If I can get a jumper or a jacket that didn't scream for their life, have baby after baby taken from them, have family members taken from them, then why would I bother buying it? I'll just get the synthetic version and avoid being responsible for all that violence, all that exploitation, all that pain. And this is simply what being vegan is, rejecting animal exploitation and becoming vegan. Subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you've already done that and you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to the conversation. And thank you for being here. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan and being kind to animals triggers you. We're outside of a slaughterhouse live to bring into light the investigation done back in 2019 by Animal Aid. Go in the top 3 dots in the top right-hand corner, click on the description and click on Animal Aid's link to go and watch it. You'll be absolutely shocked and appalled. And again, we're not here to clash with non-vegans. We're not here to say you're a bad person. We're here to highlight the injustices and the secrecy that the industry has put upon you to make you probably a good person, probably a number 2. You're probably paying for some of the most horrific violence. You never know about it. In today's live stream, we're going to tell you all about it. We're going to answer your questions. And when animals come in here, we're going to do everything we can to show you it. I say everything we can because guess what? The industry is going to do everything that it can to hide it from you. There's your first question, Mark.
Yeah, Car Guy put, well, I like eating meat, so suit yourself.
No, just because you can't put I like in front of a sentence that exploits individuals and then eradicate the injustice for the individual. I could say I like trafficking children. It doesn't make child trafficking okay. I like owning slaves. It doesn't make slavery okay. You're in a position of power. You're in the oppressor's position. And when you have that amount of power, then you should be morally obligated to do the ethical and the right thing. And in this case, it's being vegan and stop separating families and sending animals to slaughterhouses.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that vegans don't like the taste of meat, and that's why they go vegan.
No,
why
any
did
vegan.
You go vegan?
People go vegan because they want to remove their personal accountability of the exploitation of animals. The whole time you're not vegan, these industries are supply and demand industries. Not just the food industry, by the way, but like what was pointed out earlier, the clothing industry, animal testing industries, exploitation in horse racing, in greyhound racing, in zoos, in aquariums. Vegans remove their vote system. So whenever you go to any of these places and you give them money, you're voting to perpetuate that industry and that violence. When you're vegan and you remove your personal accountability and you stop asking the demand for it, then these industries swallow up, they dry up, they collapse because all of a sudden they're not making any profit. Subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded. We thank you for being here. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream. We're here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. You can go to animalaid.org.uk or you can go into the top 3 dots in the top right-hand corner, click in the description and copy and paste that top link so you can see the investigations done by Animal Aid 2019 at the very facility that we're stood outside of right now. And like Mel was saying, being vegan is simple, it's easy. It's removing your personal contribution to being violent to animals. When I put it like that, doesn't it just sound like the baseline? When you say remove your personal accountability for violence, use and exploitation to animals, isn't that like the most simple, basic moral code? Why are we struggling to see it? I'll tell you why we're struggling to see it. Because these industries, they are not preventing civilization collapse. They are businesses. They make profits. That's all they are. And they've marketed their business to the consumer in the best ways possible. They've told you that it's necessary, that you need it, and they've told you that it's humane and that it's ethical. Therefore, most people will never question it any further. I'll let Mel explain the next points. Good job.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done. The moment we turned up up here, guys. We heard a cow crying inside there as they're being moved from the lairage to the kill floor. They are being decapitated behind me in this place. That's what happens to animals. Every single animal gets stabbed in the throat. They get killed, they get chopped up into pieces, whether that's large farms, small farms, free range, organic, they all get killed with the same knife. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share, comment. Please ask questions. We're not here to hate on you guys whatsoever, but we are here to tell you the truth and turn your head against the industry that have lied to us, lied to you. Treat us like your friend that is just trying to tell you something that you don't know yet. We've seen inside these places. We've investigated farms. We've seen the reality firsthand with our own eyes, something that the public would never see unless someone tells you the truth, because they're just the business. This isn't like the backbone of society. These are just the business who want your money. So the best way that they can do that is by saying to you, humane, organic, free range, and you believe their lies, and then you think you need to eat animals and their secretions to survive when you don't.
In God we trust, thank you for your comment. They put there number 2. Realistically, what percentage of people do you think would have to become vegan to change this?
Yeah, well, there's like a tipping point, right? So, because it's all about supply and demand, the moment the money goes, then they literally start collapsing. But regardless of that, it's important to take your own responsibility, your own accountability, and remove yourself from that. Just because there's still slavery happening, just because there's still child trafficking and horrific things happening, doesn't mean that we should partake in that. We've got to hold ourselves accountable, have morals, have principles, defend the animals. They need you so much. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share, and comment.
Where are we? Why are we here today?
Yeah, I'm here outside a slaughterhouse. By the way, this is like a small slaughterhouse in a local village. This is where you see small holding come in here. You see big trucks. Like, you see it all here, okay? I think potentially halal as well, but it doesn't matter. The way anyone kills an animal is irrelevant, because basically it's all the same anyway, but you shouldn't take away someone's life who doesn't want to die. This isn't a compassionate killing, this is murder. In my opinion, it's murder.
David Simpian, but either way they're going to die.
No, they're not. So it's all supply and demand. Like I said before, if I was selling oranges and apples and you only bought apples, I wouldn't sell oranges anymore, because I wouldn't grow them and then I wouldn't sell them. So the animals are right now being forced into existence to keep up with your demands, because you're demanding animals to be killed. You're demanding cows to have their babies taken away for cow's milk. Things that you might have not realised, by the way, so I'm not judging you. I didn't know that either. But yeah, it's all about supply and demand. We stopped demanding it, they stopped doing it because they only want money. This isn't because humans need to eat animals to survive. This isn't a thing of our survival. In fact, it does the opposite, but we can survive on plants and live vegan. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share, comment. I'm at a slaughterhouse today in collaboration with Animal Aid. They have done an investigation on this place back in 2019. You can see in the link in the description. There was undercover footage of horses having their microchips removed and put into another horse. There was fraudulent paperwork going on because when horses get injected with something called bute, they can't be put into the human food chain. So then if they change the name, then they'll think, okay, cool, we'll make more profit from them. Okay, this is the kind of thing these places do. Those are ex-racing horses, by the way. So the horse racing industry is awful as well. Vegans are just people who don't oppress, use, commodify animals in any which way. We are here just normal people who just don't hurt someone else.
Fiona, I put you in a minute timeout because you're just spamming, hi, do you remember me, hi, do you remember me, hi, do you remember me? Do you remember Fiona Manoli? I don't know if I remember.
Please don't spam, just write your comment and then occasionally write it again if we miss it, rather than like again and again and again, just so we can see everyone's comments. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share, comment. Please keep asking questions. Did you know that cows only produce milk for their babies? In fact, here we've witnessed baby cows enter this place.
In God we trust. I watched your video and you changed a non-vegan to a vegan, and I was shocked and sad to see the state of how those pigs were treated in them living conditions.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much for letting us know that. Thank you so much. It breaks our heart being here, so hearing stories like that is so lifting. Thank you. Another person defending the animals. See, it's just when people know better, then you do better.
Gianna 90, how do you feel about vegetarians? I've been vegetarian for 3 years.
Yeah, so Basically, I view vegetarians as in people who try to do the right thing but don't understand the dairy, the egg industry, horse racing and things like that. So a lot of people go vegetarian because they actually care about animals. Now, we believe that the industry actually made up the word vegetarian as a safety net for their business, because you may not realize that the dairy industry is the meat industry, it's the veal industry. Basically, cows have to have babies to produce milk. Their baby, when they give birth to a boy, doesn't produce milk, they're taken to a slaughterhouse. We've seen them go in here to be killed just because someone is buying the breast milk intended for a baby. Something that I didn't know. I used to pay for that for years. Also in the egg industry, the male chicks are classed as a waste product. They don't produce eggs, so they're put into a blender alive. They're not the same breed as the meat chickens. And when the egg-laying hens get to 18 months old, the majority of them sent to well, all of them are sent to a slaughterhouse, but the majority of them are sent to gas chambers. Chickens in the egg industry have actually been genetically modified. Let me explain in just one second. Please subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. So in the egg industry, they basically have selectively bred chickens to lay 300 eggs a year. Naturally, they would only lay 12. But because people viewed the egg as a product, they selectively bred them to profit from them more and more and more. We've rescued hens from this industry. Make sure you give the eggs back to them, because they're actually born into a body they're imprisoned in their own body basically because of these industries. It's not natural for these animals to be laying this many eggs. So make sure you feed their eggs back to them if you ever rescue animals. Thank you for that question. Please go watch Dominion on YouTube to see the reality, because if you're vegetarian for the animals, then please go vegan, because vegan is the baseline. Vegan means you don't oppress any animals.
Faye, but I am a dairy farmer, and if a cow is not milked, it can cause serious pain to the milk bag, known as the udders.
Yeah.
And the special milk for the baby, known as colostrum,
Yeah.
is only there for around 2 to 3 milkings after. Explain why Faye is unethical and immoral.
Okay, so basically what Faye is doing is missing out the entire dairy industry. She's just telling you that cows need to be milked. Just like if a human gave birth to her baby and they don't feed their baby on time, they start leaking from their breasts because they need to feed their baby. Now what the dairy farmers do is they remove the babies away from them. They kill the males and they separate the females, put them in an isolation hutch away from the mother. So those cows need to be milked because they're trying to produce milk for their baby, who have been deprived of it because they're stealing the milk intended for the baby to sell to you. So what Faye's done is completely missed out the part where they forcibly breed these animals into existence, okay, remove their babies, kill their babies, and when their female baby gets to a sexually mature age, they then forcibly make her pregnant. What they do is they put her in a cattle crush, force themselves inside of her with their arm, put like a metal rod inside and inject her with semen to make her pregnant. She carries her baby for 9 months. Let me just explain more in a second. Subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream, like, share and comment. We've stood here and we've seen the baby cows, this tiny, going inside this place to be killed, to be decapitated, to be stabbed in the throat, because people like Faye are lying to the public. They're mugging you off for money.
Where can people see what you're talking about, what documentary, and where can people see what happened in the very facility we're outside of right now?
Yeah, so please go watch Dominion on YouTube. Just standard industry practice, so you know what happens, so you're educated, because it's not your fault that you don't know because you have been lied to. Now there was an investigation done here by Animal Aid. Go to the link in the description. You'll see that the baby calves in here from the dairy industry were seen slipping over on the kill floor or in the lairage for 3 hours. They couldn't stand up. We've seen the babies literally walk up there like wobbling because they haven't even gained like their own muscle memory in their legs because they've not long been born. It's absolutely disgusting. The dairy industry is the most abusive industry on the planet.
In God We Trust has switched to oat milk, but wants a cheaper version of oat milk. Where's the cheapest version to go?
Yeah, I mean, I think Aldi has the cheapest. It's like 50p, but we go Tesco's. We get the Tesco's own oat milk, soy milk, super easy. Yeah, thanks for your question. And yeah, that's exactly it. If you're listening to this, you're like, you know what, I really love animals, and I wouldn't want that happening to me, even if you don't love animals. Animals deserve rights to their own life. We shouldn't be doing it. You can switch dairy for oat, soya, whatever. There's like 12 different plant milks. Just don't have Dairy, that's for a baby cow, not for us. It's a horrific industry. Same with eggs, have scrambled tofu. There's all the alternatives that you can have. Please subscribe, message us after. We're more than welcome to help you go vegan.
Yeah, absolutely well said. Guys, let me just get a feel for who's in the room. Subscribe for one if you're vegan, subscribe for two if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to the conversations, and we appreciate you being here. Subscribe and put three in the chat if you're anti-vegan and being kind to animals triggers you. We're here today. Oh, also double tap the stream. Let's get the lights going before the animals turn up.
Yeah.
Everyone just double tap the screen and it'll like the live stream. We're here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. Go to animalaid.org.uk or go into the description of this live stream by pressing the top three dots in the top right-hand corner, and then go into the Animal Aid investigation link where you will see the investigation that was done back in 2019. All sorts of horrific findings. Go and see it for yourself. And this is the reality of what happens at slaughterhouses. This is absolutely horrific. Now, in the comment section, I kept seeing a lot of God gave us animals, God said we could do it, God put animals on the earth for us to eat. Listen, if God did that, then what does the devil do?
Yeah.
If God gave you a food source that is having a subjective experience of their own life, they have the ability to feel pain and suffer, they have emotions, they bond with their families, they're gentle beings. What a stupid food source to create. Why not just create food sources that aren't sentient? Oh wait, they did, and it's called plants.
Yeah.
So if you want to be consistent with being compassionate, if you are a favorite, I predict Christianity, I believe the handle said Christian something.
Yeah.
If you want to be consistent with Christianity, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. Therefore, them two statements alone means that you should be vegan.
Yeah, like Molly Higgins said, why exploit animals when you can choose an alternative?
It's crazy, right? Molly, exactly. It's literally as easy as that. You choose left to hurt animals or you choose right to not hurt animals. It's simple. Subscribe, put one in the chat if you're vegan and you've already done that. Subscribe, put two in the chat. If you're not vegan but you're open-minded to why we're here today, subscribe, put three in the chat if you're anti-vegan, and please double tap the live stream. Let me give you some facts about what happens to animals, because we've been going on about all this stuff, but we're going to cover some other bases. In the wool industry, sheep have been genetically modified, selectively bred to produce so much wool that they need constant shearing. Shearing sheep is absolutely brutal, causes lots of cuts, causes lots of lesions. It's really bad. I've seen it, and sheep are just being sewn back up. No anesthetic, it's horrific. And if they don't get their coat sheared down, then they suffer from all sorts of things that can actually lead on to them being killed. They also have something called mulesing done to them, where they are put in this contraption, they're tilted backwards to expose their rear end, and they have a slice put from their bum all the way down the back of each leg, and that's to produce scar tissue on the backs of their legs, so that when they produce wool, they don't produce wool in that area, so that they don't get fly strike from their poo sticking to their fur. They also have bands and clips put around their tails, so their tails drop off. Does that sound ethical? Does that sound humane? Commodifying an animal, mutilating them and exploiting them to a point when they can't produce enough wool for you, you chop their heads off and you put them into pies. Doesn't sound very humane or ethical to me. Have you got questions?
Yeah, absolutely not. Faye, by the way, we're not baby cows. We shouldn't be having baby cow's milk.
Yeah.
And Dash Euro put, I'm vegan. I want to connect with your team. What can they do if they want to get involved?
Message us on Instagram if you want to get involved. You can go to Project Livestream and message us on there, and we can get back to you and help you get set up with a YouTube channel. We've got Project Livestream 14 this Friday. Please come and be part of it. The more we can expose these industries, the more that we can get the secrets from these industries, from these farmers out there, good people have a chance to make the right decision. At the moment, good people don't have a chance of making the right decision, because from a very young age, the indoctrination and the conditioning starts. And then, like we said earlier, they're taught that they need it and that it's ethical. And they're two big fat lies that keep animals inside slaughterhouses.
Mary Rose seems to think animals will overpopulate if we don't kill them.
Mary Rose, thank you for your comment and thank you for your time in the live stream. This isn't the case. When, like I said earlier, when people stop demanding it, like the supply and demand, then the amount of animals being forced into existence will drop. At the moment, we have like 90 billion land animals every year, 2 to 3 trillion sea animals. So as that drops, then the demand drops, the amount of animals being forced into existence will drop until we get a tipping point of veganism, and then we've got a load of vegans to care for the animals. It's easy as that.
We've got Mario, Feldy's drummer, put Mel and Steve, two real activists. Love what you do, guys. Thank you.
Mario,
so
legend.
much.
Feldy, legend. You guys are absolutely legends. Thank you for defending the animals with everything you have to. We're here live outside of a slaughterhouse to bring the truth to you. We've just seen cows bellowing inside here. Yeah. When I went in there, they were screaming and shouting at them. Now, the reason why these cows are bellowing is because because they are in fear of their life. They are bellowing for mercy. Their screams and cries for help, and no one is listening. But today, you are. You would have heard them bellows. You would have heard them cries. What are you going to do about it? Because you can't ignore it now. Are you going to go one and go vegan? Or are you going to stay number two and be non-vegan, but listen to what we're saying? Or are you going to be an anti-vegan troll like a number three?
Oh, sorry, I can't say that well. Something aviation. What's your opinion on putting animals like pets down when they're in pain?
Yeah, listen, this is completely different, and I think this is the view that everyone has that happens inside slaughterhouses. Gas Chambers told the public that animals just fell asleep, which isn't the case. Go and watch Pigment on Amazon Prime to see the case. When you're doing something for the benefit of an animal, let's say an animal's in excruciating pain, they can no longer live their life in a comfortable way. Euthanasia, or the kindest option to ease their pain, is in the benefit of them. What happens in this building here, which is a slaughterhouse, is nowhere near for the benefit of the animals. This is for the benefit of the farmers. This is for the benefit of the slaughterhouses. These are the ones that profit off the backs of these baby animals. And then they tell the public that it's all humane and it's all okay. Let me ask you why, if this is humane and ethical, when we go to slaughterhouses, do they go to the maximum lengths to keep the secrecy hidden?
Yeah, and why aren't people who thinking it's humane taking their dogs and cats here?
Yeah, why would they let, if this is humane, we turned up here, they'd invite us round to film and let you know just how amazing it is. But it's not. What reason being is it's a slaughterhouse. Animals are having their heads cut off behind us. They're screaming and shouting for help. Now, are you going to listen? Are you going to listen? Are you going to go into the description? Are you going to go and look at the animal aid investigation done? Investigating. This place was investigated. 2019, they were shooting horses in front of other horses. They were causing extra alarm, harassment, distress. Absolutely horrific.
We got iconic something. I mean, I love animals, but I think you are crazy if you're vegan.
Listen, Icon, if you love animals and you're not vegan, that's crazy. Because it's an absolute oxymoron. You can't say I love animals and then send them to slaughterhouses. It doesn't work. How can you send someone you love to go and be shot in the face, electrocuted, gassed, hung up by their back legs, and have their throats slashed open, dismembered, skin ripped off their bodies, intestines pulled out and turned into dog and cat food? How can you do that to someone you love? If you're willing to do that to someone you love, what are you willing to do to someone you hate? You can't love animals and send them to slaughterhouses. Now, what I reckon you mean, I'm going to explain what I reckon you mean, but while I do it, subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, subscribe and put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to this conversation, subscribe and put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream. Please double tap the live stream, because when animals turn up today, we want you to see them. We're here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. Go into the link in the description and look at the investigation. What I think you mean when you say I love animals but I'm not vegan is you saying I love cats and dogs. I love the animals that I'm conditioned to love. I love dolphins, I love whales, I love horses. Horses are executed in the building behind me, by the way. But you're conditioned to love certain animals. Now, this is speciesism. This is a form of racism against the animals. When you oppress a group because of the way that they all lines up, it's an injustice for the individual. Just because they've got beaks, feathers, hooves, tails, and fur. Blenders, commodify them, chain them, mutilate, put them in exhibits, send them crazy, test on them, pour bleach down their throat, cut their organs out, put electrodes in their brain and see how they respond when you poke and prod them. You can't do that just because they look different to you. And if you believe that it's okay to, then you're speciesist. And that is a form of racism. And if you don't feel comfortable, you shouldn't feel comfortable being called a speciesist. Subscribe and put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Subscribe and put 2. If you're non-vegan but you're open-minded, and we really appreciate the non-vegans being here, we're here today to connect with you, not to judge you. We come across intense because this is intense. Animals are here bellowing and crying and screaming in that building because they're being killed 40 meters away from us. And we're here today. The only way to stop this violence is to come to number 2s, get to you and appeal to your compassion and get you to go vegan and stop funding these industries. Subscribe and put 3 if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream. Go to animalaid.org.uk or go to the description, better yet, and watch the investigation done on F Juries. The place behind us is absolutely shocking.
We got Lonnie Smith. I have my own chickens that I get eggs from, and I don't hurt them.
Yes, you do, Lonnie. I'm so sorry to say. Actually, I'm not sorry to say. Laurie, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to apologise for it. Your chickens need them eggs back. Every time you take an egg from your chicken, you're taking nutrients from their bodies and you're declining them faster and faster and faster. Chickens who have been brought into the egg industry to be exploited, they've been genetically modified and manipulated to produce far more eggs than they ever should. They should only ever produce 1 a month. They've been manipulated to lay 300 a year. And yes, I'm talking about organic, free-range cane.
We dedicate our lives. Why were those cows crying? Why were they screaming? Why were they screaming for their life in there? Horrific. Good people don't work in these places. Have principles. Where are your morals? How do you sleep at night listening to their cries? How do you sleep at night? When I'm here listening to their cries for a few hours, it breaks my heart. How does that do nothing to you? Yeah, guys, we're not here to hate on you guys, but we are here to apply pressure to the industries that exploit animals. It's not your fault that you think that, oh, it's okay to eat the chickens from my chickens. It's okay to do this. Chickens or any animals as a resource for you, they are exploited. Why do you think we have places like, because someone once saw a chicken who laid an egg and ate it and then selectively bred them and genetically modified them to do that more and more for money. That's literally it. Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, subscribe, put 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, subscribe, put 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan, double tap the live stream, like, share and please comment. We are not here hating on you, we're here purely to tell you the truth. Did you know in the meat industry of the chickens, the broiler hens, which are a different breed to the egg-laying hens, they have been selectively bred to grow really large in a short space of time. 42 days old, they get sent to a gas chamber. They're not, like, over 90% are gassed here in the UK and across the world. For what? A sandwich that you don't need? That was their body. That was their body. Go to our videos on Instagram, literally blood dripping on the floor from all of these poor babies who just wanted to live.
Faye, the dairy farmer, but we keep all of our calves and we have protested that the factories near us don't take any calves or any pregnant cows, and half of our cows we kill are sick or just not well.
Yeah, because you've literally abused them so much. Get it in your thick head. Animal farmers are extremely thick with this, right? They've been so indoctrinated, conditioned, and they've been so... It's like you go to this school of farming to lie to the public. You forcibly breed them into existence. You trap them inside a cattle crush and you force yourself inside the cows and you make them pregnant. You put them in this situation, okay? You then take their babies away from them. I saw you, oh, they served them for 3 weeks. You still kidnap their baby, okay? You take their baby away from them, you kill the males. Dairy farmers kill the males, they take them to a slaughterhouse because they don't produce milk. The females, they put in isolation booths away from their mothers. We have videos on our main channel of this. When we went onto the farm, we literally spoke to the farmer. We saw all of those huts of babies inside those hutches, umbilical cords still on, their mothers crying for them. Cows are extremely maternal animals. They cry for their babies. Then they get intensively milked. They also get things like mastitis, which is like an infection on their udders, and the farmer will still milk them with these infections. Disgusting. And then around 4 years old, they send those mothers to the slaughterhouse to be killed. They should live around 27 years old. So you see how she's still trying to indoctrinate everyone in the live chat? Oh, only when they're ill? Yeah, because of what you've done to them.
People saying things like, Roman, you realise back in the Ice Age we used to hunt animals with snares and rocks, I mean it's supposed to say. Okay. I think gas is a lot more humane. Why do people talk about the Ice Age?
Wow, and then suddenly say gas is humane, they suddenly forget about what happened to humans, right? Would you say it's humane to have done that? Absolutely not. We shouldn't be killing anybody against their will.
Where are we today? Who are we here with? And what is our objective?
Yeah, we're here outside a slaughterhouse today. We're here in collaboration with Animal Aid. We've done an investigation on this place in 2019 where you can see them killing horses in front of other horses. You can see them falsifying paperwork, changing like the passports of the horses, ex-race horses, by the way. People think that race horses just retire on a farm, but no, they get killed inside slaughterhouses when they aren't profitable, okay? Please subscribe, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Go to the link in our description so you can see the investigation that was done here. You can see for yourself. It's not your fault that you don't know, but when you know better, then you do better. Go watch Dominion on YouTube. Is there any questions in the live stream chat? Please ask questions. We literally dedicate our lives to fighting for the animals. We make sure we know what happens to these poor animals. By the way, everything we just telling you about from the investigation is all standard practice in these industries. Male chicks blended up alive in the egg industry. All calves in the industry are killed inside houses or at farms. All the cows in the dairy industry are killed. In the meat industry, you've got the broiler chicken genetically modified to grow really large in a short space of time, okay? They should be this big, they should be cute little yellow chicks. They're massive, they have burns all over them from the acid that they literally lay on their feces in these farms, okay? It's absolutely horrific. Even on the trucks, they're dying on the trucks to the slaughterhouse. If you look at our live streams, our previous live streams,
There you go.
Did the signal go?
Yeah.
Oh, let me know when we're back on. It's
Yeah, you're
disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. The smells here, the cries. People don't understand.
Where can people see the investigation done here?
Yeah, go to the link in our description and watch the animal aid investigation. See for yourself. Because before you know, you don't know. And before, like, even though you're listening to my words, I can't even express to you what happens through words. Okay, my words do not do it justice. That's why you put a camera up, you show the world, and that's when people go vegan. Why do you think we're vegan? Do you think we're vegan just because we want to be hated on by everybody? Absolutely not. Do you think I'm here because I want to be here? I have no sort of profit from being here, okay? I'm here purely because animals need me to be here to defend them, because they're being inside a slaughterhouse right now being killed behind me and across the world, and they need you to stop paying these people's wages, because that's how we collapse the industries.
Two things, who are we here with today and what can they see what happened behind there? And also, people were saying that cows don't get killed for milk, so be vegetarian.
Oh, no, vegetarians still pay for that's still the meat industry, that's the dairy industry. You're still paying for eggs and everything as well. All cows in the dairy industry are killed. All egg-laying hens are killed. The baseline is to be vegan. That just means you're a normal person who just doesn't oppress animals. Vegan is not a diet, it just relates to your diet, because it's like being anti-racist, okay? You just don't have somebody else as a slave, a commodity or a use for you. We are here in collaboration with Animal Aid today. They've done an investigation on this place. Go look in the link in the description so you can see, you'll recognise this here on the walkway here, and you'll recognise these people in the red, you recognise the red overalls. Have a look for yourself for the investigation.
Malachi keeps putting this in here. It's a really dumb question, but we'll answer it. If humans were meant to be strict herbivores, why do we not have functional serum or a multi-chambered stomach like a cow or a gorilla to ferment raw cellulose and grass into nutrients? You're not supposed to be grazing on grass. Is not what you're saying.
Do you literally think that people eat grass? Like, listen to your own comment. In fact, everything you said is the opposite. Why is it that we don't have any sort of intestinal tract like how a lion does or anything? Like, it literally rots in our stomach. The fact that we can be vegan, the fact that we thrive on a plant-based diet and all of our nutrients come from plants originally, you then kill the animals that ate the plants to get second-hand nutrients from them, when you can just leave animals the hell alone and just get all your nutrients from plants. It's really easy, but you've got to understand the why, because right now, because you're asking these kind of questions, you don't understand why you would go vegan. Watch Dominion on YouTube. Go and see for yourself why, because you may be someone who is like, you know what, I am here and I am asking like some like questions, so thank you for that, but you may be thinking, yeah, I do like animals and they shouldn't be oppressed. Like, you might be against cruelty or animal abuse. But if you're not vegan, you are literally paying for that, okay? And it's not your fault that you don't know. The industries have billions of pounds to lie to you. They deceive you on purpose because they want your money to prop their industry up.
Look, what we do, this is that rendering.
Things like, there was a documentary all about it. It was like 12 cows or something. It was called 12 cows or something. But Viva farms help you transform your farm into something else. But a lot of people go to a sanctuary because a lot of like children or farmers absolutely love the